Hello, folks, and welcome back to Antares. And I gotta tell ya, if you paid for the entire seat, you're an idiot, because tonight you'll only need the edge. That's right, it's another admin stream where instead of actually playing the game or doing anything interesting, we just rename planets and stations and stuff. So, if that's kind of your thing, don't go anywhere, because it's gonna be a full night of that. So, that brings me to my next point. I am Mark, the man behind the curtain, as per usual. And if you'd like to help keep track of everything going on and or submit ideas, make sure you type in !Antares, God willing, that'll bring up a link to the admin document where all that stuff can be added. We're a little behind on adding names. We've added a few names since last stream, but Google's being weird, so just keep trying if you haven't been given access yet. Lastly, if you're wondering why we're not playing our Stellaris Nemesis playthrough of the Soviet Union, we had a bit of our stream schedule this week was kind of weird. On Monday, we ended up playing our Soviet Union campaign because the folks over at the Monodome were busy, so it's kind of thrown off everything this week. We'll be back, hopefully, to the regular schedule of things this time next week. So, yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, we can take a detour. There's nothing against that, I don't think. Anything else I'm forgetting to add? Yes, we're currently in the midst of what's going to become a monthly contest, which is we're giving away Templin Institute / Stellaris Invicta merchandise to whoever can capture the best clip from these streams. I can't imagine there'll be any like clippable moments from tonight's stream, but if there are, if something amazing happens during this admin stream, by all means, clip it, and you'll be entered in that contest automatically. Anything else? Yes! A lot of you were wondering when the taunts are gonna be fixed, and they are. If you type in !taunt, you'll get a link to a menu of all the available taunts you can donate bits for, including some new premium taunts, which I'm kind of excited about, because you put a lot of effort into those. And Lystay, that is !taunts, plural, not taunt. No one's listening. It's fine. Did I say taunt the first time? I meant taunts. If I said taunt the first time, that's my bad. All right, so, stream admin time. Oh, Orcus1160 asking, is the Tavarite taunt still $5? Fuck no. We've upped that sucker to $10, which is hopefully gonna limit the amounts of times I need to hear that goddamn, that noise. So, yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess we'll just jump in with planets. There are quite a number of planets we need to rename. And I honestly can't remember where we stopped. I think we stopped with Pachamama, something or other. In any case. So, we need planet names. We'll start off with this habitat in the Vrul system. Wait, was Duckalex, did we rename that one? It's possible we already did rename this one. I can't remember. That does kind of sound like a vaguely Vrul name. But I could be wrong. Yeah, so need planet names here, folks. Need planet names. I can't tell how delayed chat is, so either no one has names and this whole stream is pointless, or we're just waiting for it to catch up. Panzerwolf suggesting Hellas. Maybe? I think when we suggest names, we need to include the context, because I don't always know what these things mean. That sounds vaguely Greek or Roman to me. We need a planet to name? Well, first I'm starting with this habitat, the Duckalex habitat. We need a Vrul name for this habitat. We already got we got the Vrul Ho habitat. In fact, I'm gonna rename it that. Vrul Ho orbital habitat. And Duckalex. Was Duckalex someone's name? I can't remember if we already did that one. I could be completely wrong there. And Lawrence of Arabia, thanks for following. Draka? Again, I need context with some of these names. Because I don't know what Kirax after the second Vrul Prime Minister. Were they a particularly good Prime Minister? Kind of like the current name. You know what? I don't actually have a problem with Dukalex. Everybody get down, it's a raid! I don't know, thanks to Evil Snowball for raiding during our boring admin stream. I hope you like not playing Stellaris, because that's what we're doing. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with Dukalex. Orbital habitat. Named after the gas giant, I guess. So, yeah, alright, fine. Dukalex it is. Let's move on to another one. We got a bunch of habitats in Vrul Ho. And I guess with this one, we'll keep the name as well. But I'll just add orbital in there. Orbital, okay, there we go. That takes us to Samsara, done. Torix, done. Esperanza Verde, done. So the Watige Prime sector. I mean, we might as well rename that, right? Planets and sectors. Watige Prime will become, I don't know, like the Watige Federal Republics. I don't know if that's going to be canon or not. It just seems good enough for government work. Okay, but we do have a new system here. We have the system of Porabim, I think. This must be one that we haven't renamed, right? Porabim. Porabim. Oh, Sun May is suggesting Forax, an ancient mythical Vrul scientist known for creating the first star map of the Vrul sky. I really dig that, actually. That's a good one. Are there any Vrul on this planet where that name would make sense? Do there need to be Vrul on this planet for that name to make sense? That's another question. Yes, we got at least... No, that's a half Banthurian. Okay, that's weird. Well, okay, I don't know. I like that name. I want to use it for something, but we're running out of stuff to name after Vrul. Actually, no, we have a space station here called Dronefeg Station. Never mind, we can't rename that one. Okay, keep that name in the back pocket, because it's a good one. Alright, so, Porabim. What do we know about this place? It is a continental world. Vrususara, the name of the ancient goddess of space, hope, and eternity. From which religion? I don't know about this. I mean, it sounds good. I just want to make sure that we're, we got some context here. So, Vrusara, what religion is that from? For the system of Porabim Prime. Oh, from the Vrul religion. Alright, fuck it. I got no issue with this. Vrusara. And do you want a separate name for the planet? Maybe it's something not Vrul related, or yeah, Vrul related, just because this isn't exactly in Vrul territory. Although, like, you'd think that with Vrul a part of the wider Confederacy, it wouldn't be the worst thing to start naming stuff outside of their traditional lands after Vrul stuff. So it could just be like the system and planet have the same name, the Vrusara. I got no issue with that. Yeah, okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, that takes us to the Cybrin System, which I think should be renamed, because I don't think we've referenced the Cybrim at all. So the Cybrin habitat, currently full of Banthurians and humans, and that's basically it. And some Equinians on there. Tengri, he is the sky god of the steppe. Sure, yeah, Tengri. And Tengri orbital habitat. Perfect. Tengri. Master Thief Esquire saying, goes great with the Connate stuff. Yes, it does. That works out great. Lystai asking, are there any habitats in the old Banthurian home systems? No, because most of that's under the control of the Commonwealth of Italas. Okay, next we have this whole section down here, but I'm gonna leave that for last, since it includes a bunch of other star systems, like the Font of Knowledge and whatnot. Do we have anything else in our main territory? Yes, we have Litterin Prime. All right, so we need a new name for Litterin Prime, and also the Litterin system. They don't necessarily have to be the same. So throw out any suggestions. Mumtaz, excellent in Arabic. Yeah, let's do a poll for this one, because it looks like we're getting a couple options. So, what do we name this system? We have, chat's moving fast now. Okay, Mumtaz, excellent in Arabic. Okay, you ran out of space there. Kefri. How do you spell beetle? No one knows. Next up, we have... Okay, Tyr. Or, I don't know if we can do Celtic. There's not a lot of Celts in the Confederacy. Asai Tisal, the new homeworld of the Kyr. Does that make sense? Who are the Kyr again? You might have to remind me. I don't know my own story. But in the meantime, let's do... Sorry, chat's moving kind of fast for me. Banthurian suggested Varin, former Banthurian name. I don't have space to explain all of these in the poll, so you might just have to take my word for it on some of these. Or... Olorun, supreme being in... okay, African god. Alright, so the poll is up. I think these are all strong options, so whichever ones don't win, I think we might use, or whichever one comes in second, we'll maybe use for another star system. Yeah, so far, pretty tied, with Mumtaz, excellent in Arabic, coming in. Okay, that could go anyway. Oh no, Olorun, the African god, pulling ahead here. Never bet against Olorun, that's what I've heard. Of course he's gonna win the race. He has run in his name. I mean, this star system, fairly important. It's a Gaia world, it's a Forge world, produces a lot of alloys and whatnot for the military-industrial complex. Oh, damn, it is close. Between... Oh, Kefri takes it to the last second by 1 vote. Holy God. Okay, so... We have the... Kefri system. And maybe we'll name this planet... Olorun, after the African god. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Okay, that takes us to... What do we got next? Oh, okay, this is a big one. The terminal egress star system with the associated habitat. Do we have any suggestions for this one? It's obviously a system of great strategic importance. Cairo Copper saying, no one tell Mark I suggested both Olorun and Kefri. Well, damn, you're good at suggestions. Azuraphidius suggesting Farpoint. I don't know, man. Would we have an encounter there? Professor Harmless suggesting Belisarius, after Belisarius Call, I think. Can we name it Batman? No, we cannot. I think an ancient fortress. No, like, how about an ancient crossroads? I think it would be good. Like, we don't want anything warlike, because this is supposed to be like a gateway to the universe. The Grand Suez Terminal. Something like that, but a little less on point. Oh, Megiddo, an ancient crossroads in the Levant. Isn't that also where the end times battle is supposed to take place? Yeah. Would it be weird to name something after Megiddo? All right. Megiddo. Socialist Poppy asking, how do you feel about some First Nations name, Crow's Nest, Chief Bullhead, etc.? I got nothing against it. Lore-wise, though, I'm wondering how many Native Americans are actually part of the Antares Confederacy. I would have assumed that they'd be part of the initial run to Antares, so they didn't end up getting tossed across the galaxy. So I suggest them, and we'll see how they work. Because, you know, after all, Nakiska is a First Nations name. So, you know, there was at least some population of Native Americans in the initial flotilla. So yeah, suggest them. Okay, next up we have the habitat here. The habitat in the Megiddo system. Currently, it is a big trade outpost. We need like a trading name, an ancient trading site, ancient trading city. Full of weirdos. It's a real melting pot we got here. Phoenica, after the ancient traders that founded Carthage. I like that idea. Okay, let's do that. Phoenica. Orbital habitat. All right. We got some other good options here, so let's hold on to those. Maybe I should have done a poll for that, but we'll get there soon enough. Okay, so what do we got next? Okay, now we get to... Yeah, I think the only star systems we have left are those in our southern territories. Jeez, another raid! Oh my god, what a day. Simus TV, thank you for raiding. For those of you who don't know, Simus TV is one of the players who kicked our ass in the Stellaris Nemesis event. Really knows his stuff. So if you want to see Stellaris played right, watch Simus or CMAS TV. Okay, but for those of you just joining us, you've picked a very boring stream to raid because we are in the middle of just renaming planets. Okay, so let's start with we'll start with the Strom system. What do we know about this planet? It is a industrial world. It is an arid world, so... Oh, and it's an ancient homeworld of the Skrek. So I don't actually know if we should be renaming former Skrek worlds. That's not a great precedent. I'm gonna leave this up to an executive decision, but I do want to take the tone of the room. Do we rename Skrek worlds? Yes, no. Because on the one hand, I mean, I can't, I don't feel like there's any reason to do this. We're not conquistadors. But maybe people disagree with me. So far, no. No takes a healthy lead with 11 votes to 5. Lysteo12 saying, you can name them for the Skrek. Their names at the moment aren't really Skreky. That's a good point. I mean, we could rename these, but in a way that, quote-unquote, honors the Skrek. That is a possibility. All right, so far, no is taking a healthy lead. So, what I take the result of this poll to likely mean is that we won't be renaming them in the lore here, but we might rename a couple of them to make them fit the Skrek a bit more. And Arcades13, thank you for subscribing. 6 months. Damn. All right, so we are not renaming the Skrek worlds in the lore. In the lore, we're not renaming them, but we might come back here and rename some of these because they don't sound very Skrek. So, let's, what do we do here? Let's maybe just come up with a bunch of Skrek names. Just start throwing them out here. And let's start with their capital, with the Font of Knowledge. Currently full of clerks and robots. Not a lot of specialists. I mean, I don't love the current name, Wii U. I think Font of Knowledge is fine, but like Wii U as a star system name is kind of lame. Like I kind of maybe like something like Skrekus, or is that too on point? I don't have a naming convention for them. Just alien sounding stuff that sounds like Skreky. I'm seeing stuff like Origin Foundation, I suppose, but we'd want that in the original Skrek language. Skrangria, the name of a Skrek rebel who was executed. No, they wouldn't name his capital after a rebel, though. We need an ancient Skrek name. Skreksa Nagam. Nagam meaning center. Okay, yep. Zolo890, you got it. Skreksa Nagam. Skreksa Nagam. Cool. Punchy Faisa, that would have been good too. All right, so that takes us to, we'll go back to Strom real quick here. So we got Strom, it is a arid industrial world, and we need some Skrek sounding shit. Feel free to suggest a name you've already suggested if, Nestiguf, a little too word. Skorith, ancient world for paradise. I like Skorith, but that doesn't quite fit this arid mess. So maybe we'll rename this system Skorith, home of the archives. Skreksa could be an honorific used for all Skrek home systems. I do like that. Skreksa, so we got Skrekska, Skorith. It kind of reminds me of like Minas Tirith and Minas in whatever else. So we got Skreksa Nogam, Skrekska Skorith. Seeing Wendigo, can't do Wendigo, it's too obvious as a Earth word. Space Nerd 922 asking, what is the Skrek word for Baron? I don't know, you tell me. Zefika, name of an ancient afterlife place in ancient Skrek. Yeah, sure. All right. Zekethva. How do you pronounce Skrekfus though? Skrek, or how do you spell it? Skrek. I already lost it. Skrekvis. What the hell was it? Skreksa. Got it. Okay. And now I forgot what word I was gonna name it. Skreksa. Let me find it again. Skrekska Zvezva. Whatever. And we need a name for the planet now, and there was a good one called... Kelisek. Oh, but that's a real knife thing from Kazakh. We'll bring that back to for some Antares stuff. Kostamari, beyond or outside in Skrek. Okay. If we can record in the document what these planets are named after, I should have been mentioning that making that more clear. So we're naming this one Kostamari, which in Skrek means beyond or outside in ancient Skrek. And that is within the Skrekska Svekikza system, which is named after some Antares mythology, I believe. Or Antares mythology, Skrek mythology, their afterlife. Okay, that takes us to Enest. The Enest system, home to Enest 1, a bureaucratic system in arid world. Not a whole lot there, so we need another word. So we'll start with the traditional Skreksa. So we need Skrekska something. Autumn Opossum Nivera, ancient Skrek goddess of strategy, fertility, and medicine. Or Huvaka, calm or not in motion. We got a lot of great names here. And I do polls, but I think for this one, let's just move it along. I kind of like Skreksva Hovuka for okay, so the system is Skreksva Hovuka for calm or not in motion. The planet will be, there was a good one, Niv-Ura, after the ancient Skrek goddess of strategy, fertility, and medicine. There it is. Okay, now we move on to the Toral system. And again, don't worry about suggesting the same name twice. Chat's moving kind of fast. I might have missed it the first time around, so we have another system here. This is home to Toral, which, what is its deal? It's arid. It is just another bureaucratic center, it seems to me, full of clerks and the unemployed. Master Thief suggesting Skrekska Antakara, the Skrek god of nothing. I kind of like that. That seems kind of cool. Skreksa Antakara. And then the planet we will call... Ooh, Dr. Evans suggesting Chelask, name of an ancient Skrek poet. Yep, all right, good for me. Chelask. Ancient Skrek poet in Skreksa Antakara, named after the god of nothingness. That must have been from way back, because I get the feeling that the Skrek no longer believe in their ancient religion. All right, next up we have Hazra, home of a bureaucratic center, arid world. They're all bureaucratic centers. It seems like the entire empire is just meant to help upkeep the font of knowledge in the archives. Okay, so we got Skreksa something. We got Rekiel Atrakaj, an ancient king. I like that one. Skreksva Rekiel Atrakaj. Skreksva Rekiel Atakaj. God damn. And Lyste saying, you were the one who built those admin centers. Shit. Thank you for the bits and thank you for pointing that out. You're probably right. Who can keep track? Okay, so we got something here and we also have a planet. It is another bureaucratic center. Okay, so we'll call this one Tundra Fox Ned suggesting Klaz Gakko, meaning refuge or fortress. Klaz Gakko. All right, next up we have, I think that's all of them. Yeah. What we could do is rename the Font of Knowledge and the archives to their original Skrek. In fact, I kind of think that's a good idea. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll leave that simmer for a bit. But let's move on to Seeker's Landing in the Ashuk system. Okay, so we have another star system here. This is in the southern part of the, actually, can I, like, change some stuff? So, let me just mess with something real quick here. So we got, did we set up the occupation zone? I think we did that already, right? Am I completely blind? Like, what sector are these in? Are they even in a sector? I cannot tell for the life of me. Well, let's just make a new sector, right? Unless I already did? Is it just part of Seeker's Landing? If that's the case, why is it not in the Seeker's Landing thing? That seems so strange to me, unless the borders are just messed up, which would make a lot of sense. No, just Seeker's Landing is in Seeker's Landing. Wait, we have two Seeker's Landing. And the other one, okay, that's weird. So the second Seeker's Landing becomes the Skrek occupation zone, I guess. What a mess. How do I, like, change this? Delete the sector. Yes? Whoops. I unpaused that for a brief second. Hopefully it didn't... Okay, I guess I'll just delete the first one too. That's kind of annoying. Except where did I just see that button? Delete sector. Okay, we'll remake this. Okay, it might not take effect until I save the game, so let's just try that. Admin 1, or admin 2. Sorry folks, this is why we call it an admin stream. Alright, whatever, that's the Skrek occupation zone, and it's headquartered in this system, which was the only pure Antares system in the southern part of the galaxy, and it controls the access to this wormhole. So, need an Antares name for this system. Sorry for messing that up there. The former Seeker's Landing. Something to do with travel, like a long distance of travel would be good. We have Kelisek. Oh yeah, let's do Kelisek. Future in Kazakh, in lore translator's opportunity. I like that. So, Kelisek. And do we want a separate name for the planet, or does it share the name of the system? We've done both. We have some Mandarin here for the Crossroad. Mandarin. We haven't done a lot of Mandarin, because technically the Chinese weren't hugely part of the... well, fuck it, let's do it. Except I don't know how I'm gonna be able to copy and paste that in. Let me check real quick. All right, everyone stop talking because I can't copy and paste. There we go. Okay, there we are. Seeker's Landing. Yeah, that's not quite translating well into Stellaris here. I'm just gonna have to de-Mandarinify it. My apologies. Shizulu Ku. I close as I can get without it breaking stuff. All right. Good enough for me. Lystate 12, that's the name, saying that's the name of the Star Cooperative named it before the Khan took it from them. Yes, I don't mind. I think we can rename it after the Khan invades and we just take it because we're opportunists in that way. So we got that going. So that's that. Next up, we have just a couple other worlds left. And the Yarjagiviv saying, realistically, Mandarin could be the most widely spoken language at this point in the future. It's probably still those first initial languages, but there's no sense, it's not impossible that people would also speak Mandarin. Okay, so, next up we have a tech world. Wait a second, no, we're not renaming this one because eventually we gotta give this back to the Althorian Empire, right? We just took this over. Yeah, so we're not renaming these systems. We might rename this one, but okay, so that's that. And does that mean that all the planets are named and all the orbital stations? I think so. Is there anything I'm forgetting? I don't believe so. We might go back to the archives and the font of knowledge at some point. I want to just ruminate on that for a bit. And the Arjguvev saying, that's the most anyone has ever butchered my username. Welcome to the stream, baby. That's all we do here. Lystay 12 saying, by the way, the Kelbrid grid has been committing extermination genocide all last year. Is that true? Which one's the Kelbrid grid? Is it, yeah, that the guys we're going to war with? Well, they don't have any planets left, as far as I can tell, so it looks like the threat of that is hopefully coming to a close, right? Oh, no, they got here. Anthor. Oh my god, you're right! Okay, we really gotta work on that. And Master Thief Esquire, thank you for the bit saying, for all we know, the Skrek fell in love with Esperanto and just made that the root of... I hope not. I like the idea behind Esperanto, but I hate to have to learn another language and get rid of all that cultural kind of nuance and replace it with this thing. So yeah, I'm not a fan. Okay, so that's all the planets. Now let us move on to Shipyards, which, God help me, did we not have a naming convention for shipyards? Did we never get that far? The only one we've named so far is Reunion Station. Has every other shipyard been destroyed and rebuilt since then? Because that's the only reason I can think as to why we don't have a name for these shipyards, right? Probably because our other major one would have been an Intisar and we got rid of that one. So I think we were calling these Navstas. Yes, that's right. Okay, so what we did, we used to have Navsta Pele and Navsta Tegampe, but we changed those to anchorages and we haven't fixed the thing. So, all right, so I think we're there. We want to name these ones after naval heroes and or battles and or stuff that sounds cool. I don't think we have a very strong naming convention for shipyards. So, we need, let's, okay, god damn it, all these stations are in Skrek territory. Okay, now we got one here. So we'll start with the Murust system. We have a naval station here that needs a new name. So we have Navsta what? Navsta al-Harb means warbreaker in Arabic. You've been really going for warbreaker. Yeah, sure, why not? Naval Station Warbreaker. Excellent. Okay, that takes us to the next one. We have... Okay, we have another... We have a naval shipyard down here? I didn't know that. Okay, we have a shipyard in the Wormhole Station. Need a name for this one. Navsta something. Saladin. Autumn Opossum suggesting Saladin. Navsta Saladin. That would be named after the hero of Torix, right? Have we not named anything after Saladin yet? Ooh, but Sergeant Avitus suggesting Tantana, Triumph and Uzbek. That's a sweet ass word, so let's do that. Tantana. The Arjgiev. You gotta tell me how to pronounce that. Saying, does anyone remember the general at the Battle of Malacca? I should hope so. One of the most famous figures in Antares history. The Cosmic Lord saying, a station near Malacca should be named after Liliana Reyes. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Except... we could name Prithvi Station after the general. However, giving a military leader's name to a civilian trade station, I don't know if that's something we would do. Like, a more fitting tribute might be renamed like one of the moons of the planet. Like if we named a, Oh, shit, okay. I want to propose something. What if we named this volcanic planet after Reyes? Because it's like hot and fiery and temperamental, just like Reyes was. It's orbiting this beautiful gas giant. I think I'm gonna do that. So you'll have to excuse me for taking an executive decision here. I do think it would be thematically on point to name the station after her. I don't see Antares doing that. So apologies there. In fact, I think we should rename it just the same name it was before, which offhand, I don't remember what it was. I know it had an Arabic name, but I couldn't tell you what it was. It's mentioned in our videos. Okay, but we're getting a little off track here. So think about that and we'll come back to it. In the meantime, let's go back to Shipyards. In fact, we only have one left, the Mega Shipyard. So, the Mega Shipyard, what the hell do we call that? Can I even rename it? No, I can't, that's bullshit. Lame. Okay, apparently I can't rename this, but we should rename it just for the hell of it, because it might pop up in a lore video. So we need, because this is a very important center of the Antares Confederacy, what do we call this thing? We need something all-encompassing, something, I don't know, something related to Antares, not a relic of Earth. I want something more unifying than Navsta, you know, word here. Let's, like it should be Naval Station. I don't know. I guess, like, Hephaestus, maybe? Sorry for me just making noises here. I'm really trying to think of something. I don't necessarily want to name it after a person. I think this is too big a thing to name after one person. I think we need something more unifying, something that relates to everybody from Antares, like every republic. The General of Malacca. The thing was, Reyes was an army general, so I don't think you would name a shipyard after her and expect her to be pleased about that. Arsenal of Freedom. Nah, too on point. That'd be like its slogan, I think, its motto. I mean, it could just be Naval Station Intisar. It's boring, but I like that Antares isn't making a big deal out of it. Naval Station Intisar. Because Intisar is already a thing, right? I know we renamed this planet, I don't remember what. Yeah. I think I'm gonna disappoint everybody. And, we'll just call it something boring, like Naval Station Intisar. Boring, but realistic. Alright, so next we go on to star bases. And we'll start with renaming the naval stations to naval anchorages. So we got Nav Anch. And was there another one? Yes. Nav Anch Pele. All right, so now we have the we have another naval station. We got a name here. Let's do heroes. People from the republics and/or Antares. And what the hell are we calling? Just protect. Like, what are we calling? regular star bases without shipyards in them. Do we have a thing for that? Naval, like, they're not navstas, right? Because those are naval stations. Am I misremembering stuff? Have I possibly screwed up a bit? Shipyards are navstas. Anchorages are navanks. I don't know what we just called defensive stations before. Have we ever had one before? Navport? Navdef? I like Navdef. Navdef. Okay, so we need one for the black hole guarding the L gate. So, people's names. Let's do, or ancient fortresses. I think those are both good options. Toch, named after the Chengan military strategist that helped reform the Chengan military post-con. Yep. Nav, Dev, Toch. Nav, Dev, Toch, Chengan military strategist and theorist is now guarding the Zorican black hole. Okay, that takes us to the other side of the station. What would be kind of funny here is there a, do we have any rivals to Shanghai? Is there anybody who really can't stand Shanghai who's in the lore? Because it'd be funny if you had the both sides of the black hole, like the L gate, and they hate it. That'd be funny. Hatchaleg says everyone. Oh my god. But yeah, so need a name for this station. Navdef, Chisoro, Imbasor, Intelligence Officer. Done. De Sakuro. Navdef de Sakuro. Okay. So we got another one here. This is the gate to Antares, basically. It protects the routes into the Antares capital from the northern approach. So, I only want to hear from people who haven't had your name picked yet. So if you're someone who's been suggesting names and you haven't gotten one selected yet, speak up. Otherwise, if you've already named something, shut the hell up. Unless everyone's already gotten their suggestions in, that'd be nice. Navdef. The RG of Stanton, like Stanton Island. Too close to America, I think. Crac de Chevaliers, one of the famous Crusader castles from Earth. I don't know if Crusader castles would go over too well in a mostly Arabic nation. Gates of Antares, a little too poetic, I think. We want to name stuff after people and or historical fortresses. Alzriz saying, Kisvel Yakur, a sergeant who died leading a charge against the Khan. Done, I like that one. Just out of curiosity, what race was Kisvel Yakur, or what species, rather? Oh, Kim Ronan is saying that apparently I did screw up the naming convention. Originally, these stations were called Defsta in Google Docs. Well, during the reform of 237 AL, that's when they changed that, so that explains that. All right, next up we have Naval Station Uner, which is guarding the approach into the Thorian Republic. Again, I want to hear people who haven't gotten their suggestions in yet. So we have Azure Ophidius Tenno, codename for enough Jewelry Jet military officer. I don't want to use code names. Let's use his real name. Let's honor the man, not the code name. So if you can give me his name, I will do that. So Azure Ophidius, if you're able to give me his name. Last name is Magi. Naval Station, or Navdef Magi. Done. All right, that takes us to a starbase guarding the route to the wormhole. So this is another strategic location. One of the few in Antares outside its territory have a bit of an enclave or exclave or whatever they're called. So we got NavDef. Let's get some more names here. Sergeant Avitus saying, on Osboard, castle/prison of Oblivion. Huh. Was a castle and political prison of the Sansarian Empire located in southwestern Iran. If it's a prison, I don't know if we want to name something. Does it have good vibes attached to it? Or is this like the southwestern Iran version of some internment camp? Terran Marine suggesting Nanda, the name of the Indian dynasty. Yeah, Navdef Nanda. Done. Luckily, we got plenty of stations, so if you haven't got a name yet, we are good. Okay, that takes us to the trade hub. So, does anyone remember the name of the old trade station in the Prithvi system that was destroyed when the Great Khan attacked? Do we have that handy? If not, I'll just keep going and we can get back to it. Nope, okay, let's move on to the next one. So we have an anchorage, and Shadow Operative 117 suggested something I can't pronounce, but I'm gonna try. Kamala Hayati, a woman admiral from the Sultanate of Ek in the 17th century. That's a good name. Let's actually give that on we're out of bastions. Okay, shit. We'll give that to the anchorage then. So we got Nav, Ank, Kiam, La, Hai, Adi. Did I spell that right? Keum, ALA, HAYATI. Great. That's a hell of a name. Okay. Nav Inc. Next, we have Dronafeg Station. That should be renamed to Nav Inc. Dronafeg. Next, Polymar. Another naval anchorage. Nav Inc. Monarch 1485 suggesting Fakir el-Din, Lebanese ruler and military hero. Done. Fakir el-Din 2. Done and done. Second last one. Another anchorage. Punga, the Maori name for anchor. Is that a little too on brand? Like it's kind of like naval anchorage anchor, I guess. It's kind of weird. But Punga's a cool name. Sure, why the hell not? Nav Ank Punga. Done and done. Let's just save our progress real quick. Great. Okay, and the last naval anchorage currently in the middle of being upgraded. Oh wait, no, this is outside our territory, so we're probably not holding on to this. Okay, we'll not rename that one. Okay, so that is all the star bases. That is all the shipyards, except for the Skrek ones, which we might have to get rid of some of these, and I'm gonna leave that for an actual stream, not the admin stream, if you can forgive me, because that's gonna be gameplay specific, and I haven't looked at or like, we'll save that, and hopefully we won't be waiting too long before the next admin stream after this one. So if we decide not to rename them, we can come back to it. Okay, so that's all the big stuff, except for the factions. I had a really fun time renaming the factions in the Soviet stream. So let's do that. So here's how I'm thinking factions are gonna work. To me, factions are just important things in Antares, and they might not necessarily line up perfectly to the Antares like government itself. For example, in the Soviet stream, I don't know if I've done this, but an example might be the militarist faction would be called the, Soviet Ministry of Defense. Whereas that doesn't necessarily mean that every faction has to be a government ministry. We're just picking miscellaneous things that influence the government. So that's kind of my theory here. Like, we can name the militarist faction. Let's find it here. Do we even have one? Like the Antares Ministry of Defense. But then we can have something else be like a public citizens group. So we can have a variety of different groups. They don't need to be yeah. All right, so in fact, I kind of really like that. So let's rename the Drumbeat of Victory Party wait, how do I rename them? The Antares Ministry of Defense. Okay, so let's start with the materialist ethos. So we need a name of like, it could be an internal government ministry like the Antares Ministry of Science or something, or it could be like a coalition of scientists from across all of Antares, like I think we have the Coalition of Antares, or the Coalition of Concerned Scientists is I think a real life thing. So maybe some science version of that. Autumn Opossum suggests the Templin Institute. Nah. Antares University Coalition, maybe. Antares Science Division, that sounds too small. Like, Antares wouldn't have a science division, they'd have a Ministry of Science. And within that Ministry of Science, they probably have different divisions. Antaran Academies of Science. I like that. Master Thief, I think that's a good one. The Confederate Research Organization. Interstellar Professors Council. I think these are some good choices. I'm gonna manage a poll on this one. So we have, what do we name the materialist faction? So we have the Antarian. I might change that to the Confederate Academies of Science, just because Antarian Academies sounds a little weird. And there's not quite enough room, so you're gonna have to pretend that I spelled this correctly. And next we have the Confederate. Oh, the Antares Coalition of Science, that's a good one. Antares Development of Confederated Cooperative of Scientific Research. Let's do the Antares Academic Community. Again, I'm one letter short on that one, so you're just gonna have to pretend I spelled that right. Interstellar Professors Council. Not enough room on that one, god damn it. And the I think these are good. I think we're good with 3. Kind of like 3. So we got the Confederation Academies of Science, the Antares Academic Community, or the Interstellar Professors Association is I think what the last word was. Did I get that right? Did I lose it? Interstellar Professors Council is the last one. All right, so the poll is up. It's currently tied between Interstellar Professor. Oh wait, never mind. Confederate Academies of Science coming out of nowhere. Someone just pointed out that the Interstellar Professors Association Council. Never mind, we're good. It looks like the Confederation Academies of Science is going to take this one. Yep, I'm willing to call it Confederate Academies of Science. Narrowly winning this, narrower by the second. Wins it by 5 votes, okay. Confederate Academies. How do you spell academies? No one knows. Or CS. SIAC, as it's also known. Okay, next. We have the National Evolvement League. So this would be the pacifists. This, to me, in my mind, is definitely a, like, concerned citizens group. Something like, there was gotta be a bunch of organizations during the Vietnam era who were against the war in Vietnam. I don't know what their names were, but I'd assume it would be something like Concerned Citizens Against Vietnam or something like that. So if we can find a more universal name. Moms Against War is close, but not quite what we're looking for. Oh, Students for a Democratic Society was one. I like that. Confederate Humanitarian League. Humanitarian, though? We need a new name. We need a new word. I do like Students for a Democratic Society. Was that an actual thing? Am I gonna get sued? Students for a Democratic Society. Oh, it totally was. Okay. Can we change it to something for a democratic society? Like Antares for Antarians, Antares for students, or Forum for a Democratic Society, Advocates for a Democratic Society, maybe. Citizens for a yeah, I think that's good. Citizens. Citizens for a Democratic Society. Oh, I'm one letter short. God damn it. How much is this gonna bother me if I just like maybe combine two words? All right. I like this too much, so forgive me. Damn it, that's gonna bother the hell out of me. Okay, whatever the hell. Next up, we have the egalitarian faction, currently called the Free Elections League. I'm trying to think of some sort of real-world parallel to this. Who in the United States is really in favor of elections? I mean, I'd assume everybody, right? Like, what's the free elections groups or something? Like we'd have like the Democracy Foundation or something, like like, are there any democratic groups, like international democratic groups? International Democrat Union, Alliance of Democrats, something like that. Universal Suffrage League. I like that. That's a good one. Universal Suffrage League. Let's put this to a vote, by the way. We're getting a lot of good choices. The Universal Suffrage League. Sorry, I'm just copying this into my poll. Egalitarian rename. So we have the Universal Suffrage League. Next up, we have the National Democratic Institute, Electoral... Oh, I like the Electoral Watch Foundation. That's a good one. Then we have Sentient Lifeform Right Activist, maybe. Democratic Foundation of Antares. Antares Election Council, that could be good. Let's do Antares Election Council. I think these are all solid. I think these are very solid. So we have, the vote is opened. We have the Universal Suffrage League, the Electoral Watch Foundation, or the Antares Election Council. So far, Universal Suffrage League, narrow lead. The USL, narrow lead with 63% of the vote. I guess that's a bit of a wide lead now that we... So, Universal Suffrage... Oh, the vote's closing. Electoral Watch Foundation in second place with 9 votes compared to 16, so it's anyone's game. Anyone's game. A couple seconds left here. I think Universal Suffrage League's gonna take it with 54% of the vote. Let's just make absolutely sure. Yep, okay, I think we got it. Universal Suffrage League. There it is. Next up, we have the Alliance of Traditional Foundations. This is the spiritualist faction. And I think for sure, if you can forgive my bias here for any religious people out there, I think it'd be really funny if we gave this a name that doesn't quite fit what they're actually wanting. Like Citizens for Equality or something like that. Like you'd want like one of those conservative Christian groups. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Although we don't have to do that. We could do a more utopian ideal of this, but and it would also need to be like all faiths, because this would be representing every spiritualist faction in Antares. So the Faith and Freedom Alliance, that's a great one. Faith and Freedom Alliance, we'll look at that. Faith and Freedom Alliance. We have, what about the Moral Majority? Is that that's gotta be a, is that a real thing? Is that a real name, something in the Moral Majority? Oh, is a prominent political organization associated with the Christian rights and Republican fact. That's a bit too real to me. Yeah, sorry. All Faiths Council, I like that. Moral Majority, yeah. United Faiths of Antares, that's a good one. Faith and Freedom Alliance, All Faiths Council, United Faiths of Antares. I also like Pan Spiritualist Alliance by Smoky Duck there in chat. Okay, so the vote is up, or it's about to be up. We have the Faith and Freedom Alliance, the All Faiths Council, the United Faiths of Antares, or the Pan Spirituality Alliance. I'm kind of digging Pan Spiritualist because, like, wow, like I feel like if you're a religion, you want to be like, we're not limited to religions. We are dedicated to people of all spiritualities. So I think there's something there. But so far, we got a pretty close tie between United Faiths and Faith and Freedom. Just a few votes separating them. Faith and Freedom takes a narrow lead, 11 votes to 9. Oh my lord. I think Faith and Freedom is going to take this. 14 votes currently taking this one. Nope, Pan Spiritualist pulls out ahead with 16 votes. Faith and Freedom comes back with 15 to 18. Pan Spiritualist takes it at the very end. Oh no, we got a tie. Oh my god, okay. We gotta do a runaway election here. We gotta do another one. So, runoff election. We have the Pan Spiritualist Alliance versus the Faith and Freedom Alliance. Are they both alliances? Did I get that right? I got the names of these right, currently. All right, so runoff election between the Pan Spiritualist Alliance and the Faith and Freedom Alliance. Let's do it. The poll is up. Will there be a second tie? So far there is. Oh no, it's close still. 6-5, 10-6. 12-11 in favor of the Pan Spiritualists. Still very close. 18 votes to 15 in favor of the Pan Spiritualists. 19-16. 21-16. Pan Spiritualists might have it. 23 to 17, 23 to 19, 24 to 19. You can use bits and or 10 pence to influence these votes, so maybe if you're smart, you could hold off until the last second and try to just toss them in there, but that might upset people. 26 to 20. 27 to... I think Pan-Spiritualists are going to take this. Yep, they do. The Pan-Spiritualist Alliance wins. Spirit. How do you spell spirit? Dualist Alliance. Okay. There it is. Next, we have the Ministry of Defense. Then, the Alien Liberty Trust. This is the Xenophile ethos. It's very powerful in Antares. And I think we want something like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a real-life version of this. Maybe the NAACP, except like for aliens or something. I don't know. The like the National Association for the Advancement of Aliens or something. A National Advancement for the Association of something. I don't know. Alien fuckers of Antares. Equal species agreements, sapient advancement organized. That's a good one. Julius Kaiser. Okay, what was this again? The Xenophile faction is the Sapient Advancement Organization. Amnesty Interstellar. Amnesty Interstellar, I like that. Amnesty Interstellar. Interspecies Development Trust, maybe. Amnesty, Equal Rights Council, Keepers of the Genome. You know what? I like these two. Let's settle it with these two. So we have the Sapient Advancement Organization versus Amnesty Interstellar. And so far, ooh, Amnesty Interstellar is taking a healthy lead. I feel bad for whoever suggested the Sapient Advancement Organization, because I think you're in the minority. But it was a good name choice. These are both great. And I should say to everybody who's been suggesting names and having them entered into a poll, thank you very much. And I apologize if anyone out there has not had anything make it into the stream. That sucks, but it's the nature of votes like this. So thank you for being a part of the community. It really means a lot to have people invested in this stuff. So thank you very much. But Amnesty Interstellar is, I think, gonna run away with this one. Is there a limit on how many bits you can donate to influence polls? Like, could someone drop $100 at the last second and all right, Amnesty Interstellar takes it. Great. Oops. Amnesty. What happened? How come I can't, there's gotta be more. What the devil? Amnesty Interstellar. There we go. Next, I'm gonna save, by the way, so I don't lose any progress if the game crashes all of a sudden. All right, next up we have the Defense First Coalition, the Xenophobe ethos. So this is a fringe group. It might even be on the verge of being declared illegal in Antares, but this is your humanity first, your death to all aliens. They're stealing our jobs. Bigoted asshole human supremacists. So let's get some names out for these guys. The Interstellar Front, the Stranger Danger Coalition. Earhart's Heirs. I like the bringing back of the Earhart. I don't love the Earhart's heir. That's a bit hard to pronounce. Like, especially if they're bringing back like not ancient, but like older Antares cultural stuff, like Earhart's sons or something. The Earhart front. The Earhart front. Okay, yeah, we'll do xenophobe faction. The Earhart front. The Greater Terran Cultural Front. Antares first. Yeah, let's do Antares first. Antares Pureblood. Earhart Youth. Antares Nationalist Party. Strong Borders Party. Humanities Reconquest Party. I think I'm pretty happy with Earhart Front or Antares First. Oh, wait. Did I get this wrong? These are the isolationist group? They're xenophobe. So, I think this makes sense. Wait, we have two xenophobe groups. Am I an idiot here? Xenophobe and xenophobe. There's two of them. So these guys like defense, alone, restricted movement, non-aggression pacts, peace, isolationist. Oh, okay, so I'm sorry, yeah, I guess we have like an isolationist group and a we hate aliens group. So we'll rename the Human Primacy Party first. Okay, so, yeah. The, Earhart Front, Antares first. You know what, I'm gonna throw in the Greater Terran Union. We'll see if that'd be a good Easter egg. All right, so we got the No Immigration Party. So, poll is up between the Earhart Front, Antares First, or the Greater Terran Union. Greater Terran Union is winning by a lot. I feel like that might have been a mistake to bring that into the last second. Sorry guys, but I think I'm allowed to name stuff sometimes. Yep, with just half the vote left, we got Greater Terran Union with 48% of the vote. Damn, Earhart Front is climbing though. Earhart Front just overtook the GTU. Could this be the first loss in the history of the Greater Terran Union? It might be happening. 2 votes separate them. 3 votes. 5 votes, there it is. Asterix New Zealand contributed 12,000 channel points. Awesome. Okay, so the Earhart Front takes it. All right, now we get back to the Defense First Coalition. This is the isolationist groups. So... yeah, we need an isolationist kind of thing. I guess these guys aren't necessarily bad. Like they're not they're not bad people. They're not like the Earhart Front who you can never trust. They just don't think we should be involved in wars at all. Antares Defense Council, I like that. Antares Defense Council. Isolationist rename. Okay, Antares Isolationist League. A bit on the nose, but I don't hate it. Aloof Antares. Broken Arrow League. That's a cool name, though. I don't want to give it to the Isolationists. The Green Watch. A bit too poetic for me. War is for suckers, that's a good one. Earth first. This would be actually Earth last. Internal Prosperity League. Maybe. League of Non-Interventionists, I like that. Except I'm kind of running out of, okay, so. Oh, Asterisk New Zealand. Did you mean to spell out Home Guard there? Because that's a good one too, the Home Guard. All right, so the poll is up. We have the Antares Defense Council, the Antares Isolationist League, the League of Non-Intervention, which I spelled wrong, and the Home Guard. Home Guard sounds a bit more fringe to me, but I kind of like it, so that's okay. Home Guard is running away with this one. Good on ya. Mr. Zero has correctly deduced that League of Non-Intervention would be pronounced Loney. And they've said, oh, there goes those lonely loonies protesting again. That enough is a reason to vote for the League of Non-Intervention. The lonely loonies, that's good shit. Love it. But unfortunately, or fortunately, Home Guard takes it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this though. Home Guard, the original name of the Home Guard was the League of Non-Intervention, and they had to change it because people kept calling them the Lonely Loonies. So that is, someone write that down. All right, so next we have the Loyal Citizenry Group, which is our authoritarians. I'm still laughing over the lonely loonies. That's good shit. Oh god. All right, so let's focus up here, folks. This is serious. We have the Loyal Citizenry Group, authoritarian. We need an authoritarian name of. Again, this is pretty fringe. Something, I don't know. The Honor Guard, Earth First, Neo-Stalinist. Earth First is kind of interesting. I'm gonna say the Earth First Front. I think that's a good one. Antares First. Maybe. I kind of feel like they're leveraging wanting to go back to Earth as a means to impose authoritarian rule. The Unity Block, I like that. It's very counterintuitive. Oh, we're all about unity, but in fact, we're not really. The Homecoming Society, I like that. The Homecoming Society. The Mandicore Centralist Movement. Are the authoritarians all centered in Mandicore? And Gator Wrangler, thank you for subscribing at Tier 1. Thank you very much. National Reform Alliance, I like that. National Reform Alliance, because they'd want to brand themselves in a very boring sounding name, or very neutral. All right, so we'll call it here. We got the Earth First Front, the Unity Block, the Homecoming Society, and the National Reform Alliance. The poll is up. Cyran the Tyrant saying the Soulists. Yeah, fuck Tarkin Soul. That's what I have to say about that. National Reform Alliance has taken the lead here. The NRA, god damn it. I just put that one together. Master Thief Esquire saying, forward Antares and fuck Rumberg, damn straight. All right, the NRA looks like they're gonna win this with 72% of the vote. Oh dear. Sub-Commander Samus saying, NRA forever, The Simpsons knew for years. That was a great one. Just one of the many subtle right-wing influences that Goring. I can't remember the exact quote, but NRA Forever was a funny one. All right, so the National Reform Alliance has won. National Reform Alliance. There it is. Okay. And that is all of them. We got the Confederate Academies of Science, the Citizens for a Democratic Society, the Universal Suffrage League, the Pan-Spiritualist Alliance, the Antares Ministry of Defense, Amnesty Interstellar, Home Guard, the National Reform Alliance, and the Earhart Front. So that takes us to ships. What do we got next? We have the... Actually, you know what? We might not have a ton of options when it comes to ships, because I do want to exert a bit of control over the Titans and the Juggernauts, which are the two ships we have left. So, the Titans are going to be the Antares class. And the idea is that each of the Titan-class ships of the Antares class are named after one of the republics of Antares. So you'd have the CAS Mandaker, the CAS Chengetai, CAS Jet Farid. So I think that's, Antares class Titan. So, and then we have, of course, the Juggernaut, which is the Mother of Exiles class. So unfortunately, not a whole ton of ships to rename this time around. So my apologies there. Okay, so that leaves us with not a whole lot. Let's end this sucker with demographics. We can look over what we got. We have... Oh my god, are you guys gonna make me like go through all of this? Cause I don't want to. We start off with... Wait, what is this big show? Oh, that must be miscellaneous. Right? Is that MISC? How can I tell what the hell that chunk is? Okay, so, god damn it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through like the first of these, and then I'm gonna go through the rest of them very slowly, and I'm not reading them all out, and you can just take screenshots or something, because this is insane. I can't spend the next hour doing this. All right, so we got human with 9% of the population. We got Tavarites with 5%, Thymoids with 1%, Kier with 2%, Zeldans with 1%, Bruvins with 1%, other Bruvins with 2%, so I guess for a total of 3, Polifs with 0, other Polifs with 0, Zeldin with 0, half Tavarites with 0, other Polifs with 0, half Polifs with 4%. How does this make any sense? Oh, the HUD. We'll get rid of the HUD for this one since I guess it doesn't hurt to be able to see this. Okay, I'll start over. Humans 9, Tavarites 5, Thymoids 1, Kier 2, Zeldin 1, Bruvin 1, other Bruvin 2, Polifs 0, other Polifs 0, Zeldrin 0, half Tavarites 0, Polifs 0, other half Polifs 4, Vrul 3, rudimentary robots 3. Wait, other Bruvin? The other Bruvin are 2. The first Bruvin are 1. This is a nightmare. This is a goddamn nightmare. Okay, robots 3%. Half Tavarites 1%. Half Gorf 3%. Calicatra 0. Half Tavarite 0. Palix Caledonian 0. Half Anathubian 0. Jesus Christ. Half Clear 2%. Half Anoran 3%. Gorf 0. Some of these are contradictory. Didn't we already do Gorf? And Socialist Pappy saying this is the future liberals want. God damn it. Okay. Half Calictora 0. Half Galusian 0. Half Killer 2. Half Banatherian 0. Anoran 0. Bavi 0. No one lives here. Bavi 0. Provaglivlivtur 0. Mythfell 0. Bruvin 0. Half Anoran 0. Half Killer 0. Half Zeldrin 0. Transhuman 0. Kalar 0. Bruggen 0. Uthorian 0. Jehulian 0. Ketling 0. Kixlifrin 0. Beldross 0. Kixlufen 0, Thimbulan 0, my voice is giving out on me, god damn it. Ganvius 0, half Kalar 0, Ethilbian 0, half Kalar 0, half Rothak 1%, yeah, 1%, half Rothak, you love to see it. Veletarian 0, Anthorian 0, Polif 0, Zeldin 0, half Thimbulan 0, half Pneumona 0, Velitrian 0, Vool 0, and Athebian 0, Banathurian 1%. Oh my god, Jordan Leinhardt saying how many Antares humans are in the greater galaxy. We'll get there in a second. Raxacodium 0, half Cordovex 0, Snakeoid 0, Aspiranian 0, Rathak 0, Kemplar 0, Clobberian 0, Galusian 0, Wuthub 0, Jazgavaz 0, Pelismus 0, Achinian 0, Numina 0, half Thermoblian 0, half Pantherian 0. God damn it, Master Thief Esquire. Thank you for the bits. Fuck you for that noise. Half Polifs 0, Human 0, I guess. Half Tavarite 0, Kemplar 0, half Thembloblian 0, Oklar 0, half Numina 0, half Pneumona 0, Bruven 0, half Pelismus 0, Human 0, Themoid 0, half Mithfel 0, Brugan 0, half Palavra 0, half Jazgavaz 0, half Care 0, half Bruven 0, Calixlian 0, half Bruven 0, Otaga 0, Racoid 0, Athublian 0, Human 0, Ganvius 0, half Brugan 0, half Woolub 0, Benthurian 0, half Rathak 0, Equidian 0, Ganvius 0, half Jazgavaz 0, half Bruven 0, Jazgavaz 0, half Jazgavaz 0, half Anarit 0, half Athebin 0, half Cordovex 0, half Bruven 0, Scrack 6%! Fuck yeah! Synthetic 6%! Half Panthurian 0, half Brugan 0, half Bruven 0, Robot 0, Robot 0, Robot 0, Robot 0. Oh. And that's the census of the Antares Confederacy. God damn it. Okay. I'm rethinking the whole everyone's equal approach. Purging worked out for the Greater Terran Union, so. Oh, God. Agony is saying, hey, I think you missed one around the middle there. Fuck you! And the half Brugan you wrote in on. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go through the planets. I'm not gonna go through all the planets, or I'll go through Antares, because this is already crazy. Lindaway, 50% human, 6% Tavarite. I guess. How are they doing this? Why doesn't it tell you which species is which? Like, this is not helpful at all. Like, I can... Okay, I'm not gonna go through that. It's just too much, I'm afraid, guys, sorry. But as for the most populous, I mean, this is just the same information, right? So we got 215 humans, we got 161 Skrek, we got 135 Tavarites, 144 synthetic, 40 Bruin, 74 Vrul, 93 half Polifs, 74 half Anora. This is a much better way to do this, by the way. Kier, 58%, or 58 Kier, 44 Zeldin, 55. Okay, I'm not going through this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm gonna scroll through this very slowly, and that's what you get. For those of you who care about such things. So, you'll just have to pause this whenever you want, if you want to see all the things. But this is already a goddamn nightmare. Okay, nearing the end, God willing. Okay, good enough. Fuck you. Next we get the Galaxy, which is gonna break the stream apparently. Oh my god, there's no way, there's no way. How can I possibly... Okay, so first we have the Bruven, which exist in like a million different flavors. Then we have the Tavarites, and I hate them. My god, I hate the Tavarites. And then we have humans. And then we have the Half-Anoran. The Half-Gorf. I can't do this. I'm gonna not so slowly screw it. Okay, I'm sorry guys, we can't do the galactic census. It's too crazy. It's too crazy! All right, is there anything else anyone really wants to know before we end the admin stream for the night? And if you ask to see the galactic census, you can go to hell. What is the most populous planet of the original 6? That is a question I can probably answer. Is there an easy way for me to answer that though? Does it show like total population out here? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, so we have Lindue has a population of 100, and to be like, just so you're aware, I don't consider these numbers to be canonical. The way that Stellaris handles pops is kind of weird. So just because Lindue has 100 pops and High has 119, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's going to be reflected in the lore. So just keep that with. So when Lindue has 100, High has 119, Dakaray has 115, Dakarai, sorry. Vin has 93, Ziva has 112, Alhaji has 116, Moya has 117, Sadaka 95, Ariane 111. Some of these aren't in the original system, so I'm gonna skip these ones, I guess. But that's basically it. Okay, so any other questions or anything? Can we locate the UTP 7th Fleet? I want to see the traits of the admiral that kicked our Confederate asses multiple times. Yes. The 7th. I might not be able to, actually. My apologies. I would use admin commands, but I don't want to break the stream, especially when I'm in the middle of saving it. So, what I can do is I'll load up another save and get back to you at some point on the Discord or Twitter and or something. The census broke me. Julius Kaiser asking Mark, Shanghai is canonically the best country, right? I think the best country is wherever you call home. That's a lame answer. The best country is Submati. You heard it here first. Okay. Can you rename one of your planets to Joey Joe Jr. Shabadoo? That's the worst name I've ever heard. Okay, so anything else? Anything else I'm forgetting? Remember to remake the occupation sector. I think I have made it, but if not, we'll remake it at the start of the next stream. Yeah, I think that's I think that's everything. I'll say this one more time. All right, I'll bring back the HUD. Ship designs. We already went over ship designs. I don't know if we want to do that in this stream. I think I'm pretty happy with what we got here. Yeah, I think I think we're good. And also, yes, I'm aware I didn't quite save that time. So let's get rid of some old ones. Luckily, I do back up all these saves, so we're good. Okay, so we'll call it here. And there's probably a few things we didn't quite catch this time around. We'll make a list of those, and we'll do the next admin stream, hopefully sooner than last time. I'd like the gap between these admin streams to be a little less than what it was previously. So, but that'll be it for tonight. So even though The stream tonight is done. Hopefully I can still do my outro with that goddamn census kicking my ass here. Even though tonight is done, these streaming in general don't stop. We'll be back tomorrow with Stellaris Invicta. You know the drill by now. Monday, we continue our campaign as the Empire of Man in Total War Warhammer 2, joined by our brethren in the Kingdom of Bretonia. That's a cooperative multiplayer stream. Then Wednesday, another Total War 2 Warhammer 2 playthrough, as I'm playing as the Vampire Coast with the Dark Elves, a multiplayer co-op campaign there. Then, 1 week today, getting back to Stellaris Nemesis, playing as the Soviet Union. If you missed Monday this week, we ended up finishing Suzerain and continuing our Soviet playthrough. We had a bit of a mix-up with the streams. We had like some scheduling conflict stuff, so yeah. That's that. And future Fridays, I kind of want to add something else to the rotation, where we start off playing Stellaris Nemesis, and then we do something else. So, yeah, if you have any suggestions for a game to play on Friday, let me know in the Discord and or Twitter and or whatever. Discord's probably the best. Okay, so, I guess we'll raid somebody before we end things for the night. Oh, and I should also say, if you've missed any of these streams, you can find them on the Templin archives. We've had a bit of a mess with the archives. We lost one stream, unfortunately. The way YouTube is handling some of this stuff is kind of annoying. But only so much you can do. So apologies for that. We got a better system slowly being worked on, and we've already seen some better stuff from that. Master Chief Esquire suggesting Mass Effect Remastered. I was going to stream Mass Effect, but that game was like really personal to me. I really love that game, and I don't want to be like playing through a really tense or meaningful moment and then be like, thanks to Splooge Master 42069 Hitler for following. Like that would ruin it for me. So I think I'll play Mass Effect alone. In fact, I already started, so deal with it. Okay, as for who we're gonna raid, who's doing what right now? We got Lore Master of Sotek is playing Warhammer Vermintide. If you don't know Lore Master of Sotek, they're a YouTuber that produce a lot of Warhammer lore videos, and they've raided us a few times, so it'll be good to pay them back. So, yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and we'll get this raid kicking off. Oh boy. All right, thanks again everybody, and we'll catch you next time.